Good evening, rockers. Welcome to On the Rocks, total entertainment right here on YouTube. Tonight, I have an amazing band out of Ohio. They are Faith in Failure. I've been following this band since 2021 when I was on Keep Rock Alive. They were going to be one of my guests on the show till I parted ways with Mike Petrelli. So now this is we're in 23. I've got my show back, and they're on tonight, so I'm super excited. This is a heavy riff band, very hard rock. They have some great music out right now, and we're going to talk about that and see where the band is going. So I guess they're coming in right now. So let's we're going to go ahead and start. Hello. And I'm admitting all of them here. Let's see, one at a time. Okay, I can see some screens. Let's put your video on so we can all see you.
I'm getting there. Hey, there we are.
Hey, Jesse.
Cole. It's my wife's.
Oh, hi. Because I'm going by the name on your screen. How are you?
Yeah, it's my wife's account, so it's in her name.
That's okay. Very cool. Glad to hear that you're here. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
So, how are you guys doing?
Oh, pretty good.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you guys on because I was just telling everyone that I've been following you guys since 21.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, when I was on Keep Rock Alive, and you guys were on my list of bands to have on, so I'm super excited tonight to have you on, Cole.
Well, thank you. Yeah. I'm just trying to get some more volume here.
Hi. You can turn your
Can you hear me?
mic on. His mic is off. Nope, I still see the little red thing there. We'll get adjusted here in a second. Yeah, it says your mic is off.
There we go.
Nope, it's still off.
Wait, is it me?
No, it's not you, Cole. It's
hi.
Hi. It's this other gentleman with the beard. I'm sorry. What was your name?
That's Matt.
Matt.
There
Okay,
we go.
hi, Matt.
Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, very cool. So we've got Chad coming in. And
Aaron's on his way
kind
in
of get
too.
started here. So how's the weather in Ohio right now?
Painting.
Bipolar. It was 70.
Super cold.
And
Super
now it's
cold.
like 40.
Yeah, I'm headed to Chicago here on Wednesday. So for a little trip. So
Yeah, it's supposed to slowly start getting warmer.
yeah, I think this is
But
kind of
I
around that
wouldn't-
time. Are you
wouldn't
there,
hold my
Chad?
breath.
I am. I'm trying to figure out how this works.
Oh, you can start. I can hear you, so that's good. You can turn your camera on. It's going to be like a little looks like a little photo camera. There we go. Hey, we have a picture.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. So since I have all three, is anyone else coming?
Aaron's
Aaron
coming in.
is. Yeah, Aaron's on
Okay.
board.
All right. So let's kind of get started. Why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about Faith in Failure and when you guys actually started out? You want to start, Chad?
I think that's something that Cole usually answers. So
Okay.
I'm gonna
All
throw it
right,
to him
we'll go
real
to Cole,
quick.
no problem.
That works. Yeah, so the band, it was a long time coming, honestly. It was just an idea I had in grad school. So I didn't really start putting the band together until 2016. I'd come back from California, went out there to try to do the band, and it ended up not working out. So moved back, and I called Matt. Matt and I, we've known each other since 6th grade, and we had tried to put some bands together in the past. Just for one reason or another, those didn't work. So I just called him back on my last day of driving. I left Oklahoma City and was heading back to Columbus, and I was like, "Hey, I'm going to do this band here in Ohio. I want you to be a part of it." And that was originally the actual beginning. But the band, as far as actually releasing music and stuff, 2019 was really kind of when it started happening. And we've gone through a little bit of change. Chad, for example, is not our original vocalist. And we're just kind of going through that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, it all kind of worked out, for the best. And with our original vocalist Sergio, he was able to help us really get off the ground with writing and recording, helping us sort of get our first show, introducing us to the producer we work with for recording and everything. And it just kind of went from there. We knew, going into it that we had a set amount of time with him just because he was going to be going to school out of state. And
Okay.
so we had a good heads up, and that helped us ultimately find Chad. And so we didn't really have to miss anything, which was good, obviously how you want to do it. But yeah, I mean, it's essentially about, kind of the really short history of everything. And then we are, sort of where we're at today. Yeah. I don't know if
Very
anybody
cool.
else wants to say anything.
Yeah, you guys, why don't you interject? What about you, Chad? How do you feel in 23 coming into the band and where you guys are going in 23?
23 is going to be super sweet. We got a lot of out of town stuff coming up. It's very exciting. That's been our goal for a long time, and I'm glad to see that kick off. Definitely exciting to get some new material written as well. Trying to get that taken off as well. We're recording a sequel to a song that they had done with the previous singer called Hero. So it's Hero Part 2. And then after that, we got a couple things we're working on the sidelines. So excited to get that out there.
That's great. Yeah, I saw you guys have some really big festivals coming up.
Yeah, we're up for a couple. Blue Ridge out in Virginia. That we still haven't heard back from them yet. We were up for it last year. Obviously we didn't get on it, but the nice thing with them is whether you get on it or not, they let you know. And we haven't heard back from them yet, so assuming that's a good sign. So, fingers crossed there. But we were up for some other ones. Michigan Metal Fest was another one. Never really heard anything back, so I don't know what's going on because they just started announcing some bands. But so we're just kind of shifting focus to more just shows in general. We'll
Right, of course, playing out.
Yeah. So I mean, festivals are always cool, and it's always something we're going to try to do, especially the really big ones. But we're just at this point we've done pretty much everything we wanted to do in Central Ohio. So just branching out to Cleveland, Cincinnati, and then just sort of taking it from there and going to, Ohio's a nice spot because you're so close to so many states, and you can get to Chicago in less than 8 hours. You can get to Buffalo or Philadelphia or whatever. So that's sort of where we've shifted our focus as far as that stuff goes.
Oh, that's great. Why don't we talk about influences? Because this band is really eclectic. It's hard rock. You guys do a lot of hard riffs, which I love about you
Thank you.
guys. So let's start. Chad, what are your influences?
I like a lot of power metal bands. I also like Coheed and Cambria. I really dig how that guy pushes a
Funny.
lot of his tones out, and I really like his lyricism as well. I'm a huge Dio fan. mainly for the lyricism part. That's my favorite part of writing music and performing. I like the little stories that I get to throw in there and play with.
Yeah, Dio's been a big influence on a lot of bands. I mean, that legacy he's left is definitely pretty amazing.
Yeah, he's I've always been more of a fan of his like solo stuff versus like the Black Sabbath stuff.
Right.
But even listening to that, like it's obviously really good. I mean, he had a great voice and you know, definitely one of the, top iconic metal vocalists really of any era, So
Right.
you can't go wrong with Dio.
What about you, Matt?
So growing up, I was really big into a lot of progressive metal and like new metal. Like new metal was my big thing. So like I would say for me, like my top three would be probably Justin Chancellor from Tool, Ryan Martini from Mudvayne, and then Geddy Lee. So a lot the way that they kind of like they don't necessarily just follow the guitars, they kind of go off on their own thing, but it still all kind of meshes together. I try to achieve that in a lot of our music myself, and not just play root notes or just follow the guitars or whatever, but kind of make my own path in the song, and kind of help make it a little more unique than anything else that's really out there.
Yeah, because I've listened to I was listening to your Spotify today. Yeah, I mean, you guys have a great sound.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Very,
thank you.
very different. Like I said, still hard rock, and but the riffs and the melodies, I mean, very, very eclectic.
Yeah, it's something that we always try to do, like Chad always talks about like you got to hook people. It's cool like if you're writing technically impressive stuff because obviously there's a certain skill set and stuff involved with that, but you know, um you got to be able to bring people into a song, get them to want to listen to it more than once, and kind of, hook them, essentially. And so that's what we always try to do, from every aspect that we can. Just, how many elements can we do that are super catchy, just kind of like get stuck in people's heads.
Right.
So
Yeah, hooks trump everything else.
yeah,
That's for
he's not
sure.
wrong.
All right,
Hey.
we got somebody else.
We got Aaron.
Yeah.
Hey, Ron.
He had to update. He said.
I love the picture with your guitar there.
Man, I'm pretty sure that was the last show. That picture, I don't know how familiar you are maybe with the Alrosa in Ohio.
Yeah.
Where Dimebag was killed. That was the last show that picture was that the Alrosa had.
Wow.
That was right before COVID started shutting everything down.
Yeah.
We were part of the battle for incarceration in 2020, and we played on the second night, and that ultimately ended up being the final show there before the venue got sold.
That's crazy. It seems like it's yesterday, but it was so long ago,
Yeah.
Well, welcome, Aaron.
Thank you. Bye.
We're just I was talking to Cole and them. We're talking about your band and just what's your influences?
Like personally?
Yeah,
yeah. Well, first, sorry for being late. My computer was slowly updating Zoom. But and also sorry that you probably heard a handful of these already, but we'll knock the easy one out of the way. Avenged Sevenfold has been huge for me. As of late, Ghost has been really big. Both My Valentine Always. And then kind of going back into sitting in the backseat of my mom's car, you get Def Leppard, Metallica, Motley Crue, Poison, the 80s metal, glam metal, good
Of
stuff.
course. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, influences, your band has a lot. Each one of you bring a different aspect to this band. And to me, that's the hook right there.
Yeah, it's that's one of the things that's always been really interesting, I thought, about all of us is we have very similar interests, but they're very different at the same time. So we kind of bring our own unique flavor to each part.
Yeah, because I saw you guys on Twitch, right? You guys
Yeah,
did
Garage
the
Bands
live.
Live.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
I've
was
been there a few
really
times.
great. That sound stage where you guys were at was really super cool.
Yeah, those guys are awesome. We've become good friends with them. They live just outside of Columbus, so they're local to us, and they do that stuff all the time. So, we're gonna do another one with them, and probably in the summer this year, and whatnot. But yeah, they're really cool, and they keep growing their platform and everything, which is good because it benefits everybody. They'll take it doesn't matter what style of music you play. Like they'll take solo acoustic acts, they'll take metal bands, they'll take whatever cover bands. It doesn't matter. They're just about like wanting to give musicians a chance to like play on a stage somewhere. And obviously during the COVID stuff, it was really big because you couldn't go play anywhere. So being able to play online, because not everybody's got the ability to stream like especially to their capacity. So yeah, they've been awesome, and it's a lot of fun kind of hanging out with all those guys over there.
Yeah, let's go back a little bit here. Let's go back to 2020 when everything shut down. I was interviewing bands at the time in COVID.
Hmm.
And what exactly were you guys all writing and getting new material ready at that time? What were your thoughts at that time? I'm just curious.
I mean, it sucked because we felt like that was the first year where we were like riding a good bit of momentum, and we were excited. Like I said, we were a part of the battle for incarceration, which was only open to Ohio bands, but they only picked, I don't remember how many it was. Was it 10, 20 in total? I
10.
think.
It was
I think
10.
it was 10
No,
on each show.
yeah,
But oh, good.
No, I was gonna say yeah, it was 10 on each show. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and that was something you had to apply for, and you had to be picked. We had done that, and then there was a band who's friends of ours who we played with them like the following week, and we were working on doing like a kind of a small week long run down from Ohio down into Florida. That was going to be over the summer. Obviously, that didn't happen and stuff. So we basically just tried to make the best of it, and writing is something that we're always doing. One of the benefits for like me having been sort of envisioning this band for a really long time has been I've been writing for this band for a very long time. So we started out with a big back catalog of songs. Like our most recent song, for example, like we actually recorded that in the beginning of 2021, and it was written before that, and stuff. So like our song Pestilence, that I wrote in 2013 or 2014. So there's just this huge back catalog. So it's nice because we can sort of pick and choose, like, all right, let's work on this one, and then that also buys time to like write new stuff, so you don't feel like you're being forced to just write something quickly so you can get something out there. And it allows
Right.
all of us individually to like work on all of our parts and really try to make like whatever the song is like the best version of itself that we can make it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of bands such as yourselves are totally making up for that now in 23. So
Oh, yeah.
I think for all your bands, and including yourself, it's full steam ahead
Right.
in 23. So as far as like the Ohio area, what other bands have you guys played with?
I mean, like bigger bands or like
Or just co-headlining, kind of like what do you guys who have you been like most fond of playing with?
I don't know about the other guys. I would say I think probably the favorite show we've done was February of last year. We played with Blackstone Cherry,
Oh yeah, they're
and we
great.
played with them at a venue here in Columbus called King of Clubs, and we were very we were interested because we don't really play that similar of a style of music. So and it was like they were doing like a warm-up show or two before they went on the road with somebody. I forget who it was. So we were kind of curious as to what the crowd was going to be like. And I think that was probably maybe one of the best crowds we've had. You know, it wasn't a sellout. It was like an 850 cap venue. It was probably 450 people there, you know, and you know, it was surprising in a cool way about how much like everybody really seemed to like dig our music and stuff. Cause, you know, a little bit different stylistically than they are, but the guys in the band were really cool too.
Yeah, that's a great band to be co-headlining with. Kings of Clubs is a really great venue.
Yeah.
It's been years since I've been to the Ohio area. Not saying that I won't in 23, you never know. At this point where I'm going, it
Mhm.
seems like every month there's a new band that wants me to cover their stuff. So this year the Vegas Rock Goddess is going to be on the road for sure. So let's talk about this year and like kind of the plans that you guys have. You kind of touched on them a little bit in the beginning. So you're writing new music right now, getting ready to have a new single out. Is that right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's going on this upcoming week actually. So we're going
Okay.
in Wednesday and Thursday. So
Can't wait to hear it.
neither can we.
Now, do
So-
you guys record yourselves like a home studio, or do you guys actually physically go in a studio?
We actually, if no one else wants to take that one, we use a studio here in Columbus called Capitol House. It's run by our friend Nick Ingram. He's been recording music here in Central Ohio for like almost 15 years. He's worked with really great bands that have come out of here, and he's over the last couple of years of working with him, he's really helped us develop our sound in studio and kind of lets us run wild with our ideas. So it's always really fun to, you know, going to record at Capitol is something we always look forward to. But yeah, we go into a studio, we set up all the drums and whatever we're recording with, and do it all in the studio session.
That's great. Now, I saw some of your videos. Interesting. Like, who is directed your latest video?
Chandler Moyer, another guy local to the area. We met him actually because actually at the Blackstone Cherry show, he had messaged us maybe a week or so before and was offered to take live video or live pictures, but he also took a video for us. And it was just, he was sort of getting his feet wet as far as like, you know, stepping into doing like live concert photography. So that's how we met him. And then, you know, we've talked about wanting to work with them for some other stuff. And we decided that we were going to do a video for Oma. And
That's a really great video, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that
Thank
one
you.
got pulled together. Not, I don't want to say last minute, but it was kind of like it was a little last minute. You know, we shot it at a hotel. We you know, we brought in Chandler kind of on short notice, and you know, it was, but it all worked out really well. We had to use a lot of like lights and stuff that like we have as a band, because you know, hotel ballrooms don't usually have a lot of, you know, stage lighting and things like that.
Right.
So it was fun though. It turned out awesome. You know, it was a great song. That was actually one of Chad's songs as well. So yeah. It was like a couple years ago. He was like, I've got this song. It wasn't completed, but he wrote it out and like showed me how to play it. And we talked about like, well, you know, I'll try to sort of finish the song and then we'll do it. And turned out great.
Now, are all of you collectively writers that contribute, or no? Matt's going no.
Well, so Cole is the primary writer, right?
Okay.
So he comes up with a lot of the stuff, and then he sends it all out to us. I cannot write music. I could write my bass parts based off of what he has sent out, but like coming up with a brand new song, I am not a songwriter. I will come up with ideas or like things, and then Cole usually has to tell me that's going to work or it's not going to work. But outside of that, I am not much of a songwriter. That is all Cole.
What you are, Chad? Right? You're the songwriting team here.
I'm well. I mean, I'm really like nerdy with it, but I wouldn't say like if I were to do a solo album that it would be good.
Well, hey,
I
you're
definitely.
getting your feet wet almost great. It's really a great song. And when I saw the video today, it kind of came together because I heard the song first.
Hmm.
And then I watched the video.
Yeah.
And
So
yeah.
so Chad, he, like what Matt was saying, like everybody kind of does their own parts. So like, Chad, obviously he does all the vocals, he writes all the lyrics, that's 100% him. What's really funny is like we never know what he's doing until like he's up to record when we go into the studio. Because it's usually like that's the last main thing to get done. Then we add like all the extra little stuff that you might hear. So he'll step into the booth and Ingram will be like, all right, where do you want to start? And he'll say, let's do this part. And then he starts singing or screaming, and we're like, "Oh, that's what he's doing," because like we never have any idea.
So you're basically rolling the dice on Chad.
Yeah, it's worked.
Chad's rolling the dice on himself. We're going there Wednesday, and I don't even know what I'm gonna do.
That's great.
It always works. I mean, luckily, it's just kind of one of those things. Like everybody is obviously good at what they do, and everybody's capable of sort of working off, a template that I hand out to everybody.
Right.
And,
Well, I mean, that's why it's great because you guys collectively, it's like a union of sorts, musically. So, and you guys respect each other, which is great, because there's a lot of bands out there that, you might see the lead singer and the rest of the guys show up whenever,
Right.
but you guys are as a unit, you guys are together. And that says a lot.
And we hold each other accountable too, which is nice. Because we know like what each one of us is capable of. And if it's not, say, somebody that's full potential, like, it's a brotherly thing. It's like, hey, you could do better than that. Or I think that can be written better,
Right.
or something along those lines. And it's all mutual across the board.
Yeah, you guys push each other when you need a push. You help each other out. Hey, I got this lyric. What do you think? You know what I mean? And that's great. That's what a band is all about. And I think in 23, we're going to kind of get back to the way bands were in the 80s. They were all a unit. They all stuck together.
Fingers crossed.
Aaron's excited.
I mean, in a sense that we're kind of getting back to the way things were, I think, in the 80s, which to me is a great sign because there's going to be so many bands on the road in 23. I think it's going to be mind blowing. The festivals and everything that are back at full capacity. So there's so much great music out there, and you guys are a part of that. So don't forget that because there's a lot of us influencers out there that really enjoy your music.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, but yeah, let's talk about what was your first, Cole, what was the first concert that you ever went to?
It was Avenged Sevenfold.
That was your first show.
Yeah, it was 2007. It was here in Columbus at it used to be called the LC Pavilion. It's now been changed like 12 times. It's Kimba Live now. But I saw them on the indoor stage. It was before their self-titled album came out. And they've been my favorite band, like kind of going back to the influence thing. Like I discovered them in 2004, and that was kind of like what cemented like my love for like metal. I mean, I always did, but like because I grew up with it, because like my parents, being big hair metal fans, my dad's always played music and stuff. But at that point, I was listening to all kinds of stuff, and that kind of cemented that. And then I got a chance to finally go see them, and it was funny because they were, they headlined, but they were with 3 bands, Black Tide, who I discovered on that show, and another band called The Confession, who I discovered on that show. And I was so blown away by them that I bought their album after their set, and they broke up like 6 months later. So it's like, oh, that sucks. But
yeah, but it's that one band, I think, as we grew up, that one record that changed your life.
Yeah. Man. I don't know. I mean, I guess in a way, like I could give you like a favorite Avenged record, which would be Nightmare.
Okay.
But
I like
I
that
would,
record too. Yeah.
yeah, it's just so much, like I was very fortunate. I saw them, I think 9 times before the Rev had passed. So I got to see a lot of that, which is really cool. So that album, obviously is very it's got a lot of emotion behind it from the band and everything. And it was a really pivotal point. But like I just think of like just other albums through the years. I mean, I'd say the earliest one there was an MXPX album called Slowly Going the Way of the Buffalo. I bought it
Okay.
when I was like 10 from a Kmart.
Right.
And that was because that was like the first music I discovered on my own. So like I got into punk rock, and then like started discovering like Green Day and NoFX and Bad Religion and stuff like that, and then like Blink 182, as they blew up a little bit later and stuff like that. So I would say like that would probably be like the most, I guess, meaningful one in the sense of like it really got me down that path. But um to me, I would just say it was just like I could give you a song more than anything. It's Chapter 4 from Avenged Sevenfold, because that was
Okay.
the first song I ever heard. Still to this day, my favorite one. And so I would say more than an album, it's probably that song.
That's awesome. Matt, what about you? What was a life-changing album or concert for you?
So there's a few. So for concert wise, it was the same one that Cole had gone to. So it was the Taste of Chaos tour. Was the
Okay.
first one that I ever went to, which had Avenged and several other bands. And that's what kind of sparked the whole like I really want to be a part of this. Like I want to do this, for a living, or I want to be able to perform for people, and through music and art and everything else. Album wise, I mean, the guys all tease me about this to this day, but it's
No, it's
Lateralis from Tool, and then LD50 from Mudvayne. Because I had heard, I was like, there were parts on like say Lateralis where I was like, there's no way that's the bass, because it didn't sound like your typical bass guitar. And it's the same with LD50 from Mudvayne. And I was like, I really want to learn how to do that stuff. And I just kind of
Right.
picked it up and went from there. But I was like, it's cool to hear musicians who have a standard or instrument and not make it sound that way. So it was really cool and influenced me quite a bit.
That's great. I mean, see, I like the stories like behind your influences, because to me it really kind of puts everything together, you know like Cole liked Green Day, different parts, and I think that's what makes this band unique. Chad, tell us about some life-changing concert or music that influences you right now, or influenced you.
Well, I thought we were going with influenced. It also influences me right now. But this
More like,
album,
yeah, more
I
like
have it on Blur.
life-changing. Like Chad, when you were first starting,
Way to go.
Chad, when you were first starting out, what was a life-changing moment musically that really inspired you?
Um, when I grew up, it was mainly like a local scene that was going on at the time. But like I was seeing local bands before I saw my first like actual concert. And I thought it was so cool at the time. But my first really actual concert was like festival Rock on the Range. It was 2011. We were just talking about it today, but I got to like watch the whole thing from scaffolding, and it was amazing. Um, my father was in a band in the local scene at the time. They were called Seven Cycle, and they actually they played on like a Jägermeister like fold out stage like on the back of a truck. It was pretty sweet. Um, but yeah, we got to watch the whole thing from scaffolding. I was showing them some pictures I was taking of like Bullet for My Valentine and stuff from there, and I was just like, I got to be one of those guys one day. You know what I
See,
mean?
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That moment that you were on that scaffolding, Chad, you had that dream and you knew that's where you were going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And,
What's really funny about that, it's just interject quick, all four of us were at that same show, but we had no idea. Well, other than Matt and I, we
Really?
knew each other.
Yeah, Cole and I were the
But
only two that knew each other.
we didn't know Aaron, we didn't know Chad, but we were all there at the same show.
Wow. Now, see, that's serendipity, man, right there.
Oh,
Right.
it goes deeper than that.
I know.
Because there's Chad and I owned the same guitar at one point, but we didn't know each other.
Oh.
Like he sold it and I bought it, and then yeah, there's a handful of those things that we reminisce on sometimes, where it's just like, how did we get into our like late 20s, early 30s before we actually knew each other?
Right. I mean, it's like you guys were almost laying down the groundwork for where you are right now.
Yeah,
That's pretty amazing. Aaron, tell us about a life-changing moment musically.
I got the weird one. Like aside from, Rock on the Range 2011, I was being all big for all of us. Like that was a huge thing. But I had just started like getting into playing guitar when I was like younger. I was like 11 or 12 years old, and my mom could see I was starting to take a liking to it. And randomly at Walmart in the bargain DVD bin, she found a movie called Eddie and the Cruisers.
Oh,
Yeah, I watched that, and that like just drew all the nails in the coffin. I was like, I want to play guitar. I want to go do this. I started going to more concerts and just learning everything I could, and the dominoes fell how they did.
that is an amazing movie, Aaron, that you just
Yeah.
brought up.
No,
Eddie and the Cruisers.
it's super good. Chad came over one night and we watched it, and he loved it, and it's something I have it. I watched that movie so many times. I get a new copy of the DVD because I fried the DVD.
Oh my God.
there's a
that's-
second
for it, too?
one.
There is a second one. Yeah.
Yes,
you have the vinyl for the
it's
soundtrack?
equally as good, if not better.
Yeah, I think I saw the second one as well.
Yeah.
But you
And
know,
yet-
it's funny how those movies that you see when you were a kid or when you're
Mhm.
just getting, influenced into this business really make an impact.
Yeah, no, I didn't expect it. I don't think my mom expected it either. She, like I said, it was a $5 bargain bin thing. She was like, "Oh, he's starting to play guitar. Maybe he'll like it." And yeah, I liked it a lot.
I mean, the music from that movie was pretty amazing.
It is. Cole mentioned a second ago. I actually, an ex of mine, we were just kind of tooling around a record store, and previously I had found my Hysteria vinyl, and while we were there, I found the Pyromania vinyl, both Def Leppard classics. But while I was fanboying over my Pyromania album, she had found the Eddie and the Cruisers album vinyl, like the soundtrack on record, and so she sneakily bought that. But I have it around here somewhere. I've moved too many times. But yeah, so I have the whole thing on. I have a physical CD, and then I have the vinyl like framed.
Wow.
So it's really cool.
Yeah, it's amazing how one movie like that can change your life.
Mhm.
And just kind of set the tone for where you're going to end up eventually. And all the pieces come together. Like all
Mhm.
you guys are coming together. It's really amazing.
Yeah, it's life's funny sometimes, like
Yeah.
just stuff like that, and like even just how we met Chad. Like we met Chad on Craigslist.
Craigslist.
Probably not the ideal place to meet somebody,
Right?
but Aaron had brought up the idea. Our original vocalist, him and Aaron had another band together before this, and I think Aaron had mentioned they met each other on
Mhm.
Craigslist. So he was like, "Let's try it again." So I was like, "What the hell? Let's try it." And Chad responded, and we met with him one day on a day that we were actually auditioning another singer, and yeah, I think he knew how to impress us because he showed up wearing an Avenged Sevenfold T-shirt, and
Yeah. And then
So,
started talking about you.
He's in.
right.
Sure.
So yeah, so it's weird, how life works that way. I met Aaron because we both worked at the same Sam Ash store, but he had just stopped working there before I started there, and he had come in one day, and that's how I met him. And so it's just like these little things that happen. And
It's crazy. The rock and roll community, even though it's gigantic, let me tell you, it's small. I mean, we all know each other. Here in Vegas, it's a really great rock and roll community. I know so many bands, and we know, oh, you know this guy? Yeah, you know this guy. I mean, it really is. Once you're in rock and roll and you develop the relationships with all your friends, family, whatever other bands, you're in for life.
Yeah, it's a small scene that
I mean,
ironically like spans the whole globe.
even Cole and I, like, I mean, just like small example, like we graduated with the bassist from Miss May I.
Yeah.
Like he went to our high school.
Mhm.
So it's just little, like you said, little things like that. It's just super cool. Like you just, you know,
Yeah.
people that are in this community.
I mean,
It's so cool.
I remember
Mhm.
seeing like the Devil Wears Prada before they actually like became known because they're from Dayton. Matt and I grew up in Springfield,
Yeah.
and you know, so yeah, there's a lot of small, you know, small stuff.
Yeah, it's funny because there's a band, I'm sure do you know David Harris? Lovesick Radio? They're from
I know
Oh.
Lovesick
Ohio.
Radio.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
was
know.
gonna say,
Yeah.
I know Tucker.
Tucker Jones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he's a friend of
also
mine.
he also worked at the same Sam Ash that me and Cole worked at.
Isn't that crazy?
Small
Yeah.
world.
My God. Yeah, Tucker, I've known Tucker for quite a while. Actually, yeah, Lovesick Radio, they're an amazing band out of Ohio, and David Harris actually is in two bands, the lead guitar player. He's actually in Lovesick Radio and Crashing Wayward. I don't know if you
Okay.
guys have heard of them.
I mean, I've heard
At
of Lovesick
all?
Radio for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lovesick
they
Radio.
are. Well, let me tell you something. Crashing Wayward is an amazing band, and they just got signed to RFK Media, Ron Keel's media company.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
an amazing band. Lovesick Radio is Troy, the lead vocalist, is absolutely amazing.
Small
I'll have to
world.
check it out.
See,
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy, right? You
Very
guys
small
know
world.
Tucker Jones. I know Tucker Jones. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
I
it's
don't know if he
crazy.
remembers, but yeah, we spent many an hour in that store, he and I, because we were actually there at the same time.
Right.
So like I said, I don't know if he remembers all those years ago, but I just that name rang a bell immediately.
Yeah, and it's funny because I interviewed David Harris and Tucker Jones in 21 when I was on Keep Rock Alive, and they were all in pandemic. They were all in quarantine.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, it was super interesting. But yeah, that's great. See, we all have connections, and I
Right.
think that's what the rock and roll business is all about: is connection.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
No.
always who you know and how you know them and
Right.
all that.
Yeah. That's
Exactly. Now,
most
this
factual
new
thing ever.
song that you guys are working on, are you going to have a video to follow?
I don't know. We did talk about, you know, if you watched Oma, we have another one that we released in 2019, which was for Vampire.
Yeah,
Which
I did
that's
see that one today.
Yeah, that one has our original vocalist in it, and the issue was, you know, obviously things cost money. You know, not a lot of people are going to work for free. And so the guy that we did the first video with, it was very expensive, but it turned out amazing. And that was somebody who we worked with for a lot of stuff, like a lot of our early promos. And he did actually the artwork for Hero and for Vampire. And we had always kind of talked about like, we wanted to do another video. He was kind of the only person that we all really kind of like knew, you know, who wasn't like trying it out for like the first time. And time had gone by, and like, you know, he's got a friend that they do a business together, which they've been doing videos with like really big bands, like, you know, global touring bands and stuff. So even though he did that one on his own, you know, the prices were going up. So that's kind of what kept us. We were, you know, like we just put that money into recording new music. So when we worked with Chandler, you know, kind of a similar thing with him. Like he was just sort of starting out as far as doing videos was concerned. And so he was, you know, by comparison, relatively cheap. And we were like, you know what, let's do it. We haven't done a video. Chad had been in the band for a few years, and like the only video we had didn't have him in it. So so we wanted to do it. So we did it, and it turned out great. So we had talked about like for sure we were going to do, you know, at least one more this year. So I don't know, the next song, as far as like the lyrical stuff goes, it is very, it's very poignant. It's a specific thing, and I think unless we did like a performance video, I don't know what else we could do for it. So I don't know if that's necessarily the best option. But you know, who knows? You know, we're gonna have other stuff out this year too that you know, might make more sense and might not be as limited by like, you know, a budget or
Subject
something
matter.
like that.
Right.
Or
And I
just,
mean,
yeah, what the
you
song
guys
is
are
about.
playing a couple big shows. You know, you could always do live video
Yeah,
and incorporate that too. Which would be amazing. Cause you guys, I think live, like when I saw Twitch, I was really like, kind of like, wow, man, these guys are, it's like you guys were playing to a 50,000 seat arena.
there's one
you
guy
were-
in front
you
of
were-
us.
You know what I mean? You were playing it just to the camera. I'm like, these guys are great, man.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we've talked about doing that too. That actually, going back to Chandler, that was something else. Like when he came and we met him at that Blackstone Cherry show, he was like, "Hey, I'll take a video of a song. You know, what do you want?" So we just did our opening song, which we opened that set with Dying Eyes, and even the live video, like for him, like I guess being as prepared as he could be, not knowing that we were gonna be like, "Yeah, let's do that." He shot a really great video, and we got a lot of great pictures and stuff. So yeah, live video is definitely something I think that we could do. So yeah, it just kind of depends. I think for that, like, we would want to be really particular about like the venue and you know, and like make sure it's a good sized crowd and stuff, you know, like, so you know, it just kind of depends, but that's something that's on the table as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. So when is you said in the next couple months, you guys are going to be on Twitch again?
Yeah, I haven't talked to them to pick out a date yet. I wanted to use it, like we've got a handful of like unannounced shows, you know, that will hopefully be announced here over the oncoming, you know, couple of weeks and stuff and months. So it's just kind of like as we're sort of filling out the schedule for this year, I want to try to find an area where like there's a good gap and then plug in another live stream there. So we kind
Yeah.
of keep everything going.
We got to get you guys to play Vegas.
Hey,
Yes.
Please
Yes.
do.
I
Please.
got a brother-in-law we can stay with who lives in Vegas.
There you go.
So,
But
you know.
yeah, Vegas is really, I think the next rock and roll hotspot. A lot of bands from LA are moving here,
It's cheaper, I'm
just
sure.
to be in the mix.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna need to make a trip at the very least.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's
Sebastian
move.
Bach just moved here. You know, Stephen, what's his name? From Rat, Stephen Piercy. I almost
Stephen
couldn't remember his
Mhm.
name.
Or not Perry, Pearson.
No, Piercy, Stephen Piercy.
Pearson,
Yeah,
that's it.
he lives
Close.
You
here.
almost said Perry.
That's Aaron's last
Okay,
name.
that's
so
a that's a different band, folks.
Well, there's a Steve Perry.
I know there is a Steve Perry, but no,
There is probably a Steve Perry somewhere.
somewhere.
Bro,
in the
There
world.
is
Journey.
Journey.
Yeah, Journey, dude.
There you
Come
go.
on.
Fucking
Right?
dumbass.
Listen, I like
Exactly.
80s hair metal because I grew up on it, but it's not my thing. I'm a 2000s metalcore kid.
Yeah, see,
That's not even like hair metal though. That's like
that's
No.
funny.
I don't know, man.
Matt, like, what do you like, the 80s hair metal, or do you go for like something that's a little like farther?
So I grew up like my parents, like in the car I'd hear, you know, Ozzy, Poison, White Snake, a lot of that stuff. So I think that is what, like, I grew up around that. But as I got older, I kind of evolved more into liking like the metalcore and the new metal phase that was around in the early 2000s. And that's what really, really got me into metal. But I mean, I still like Queensryche. Eddie Jackson is still one of my favorite bassists from that era. He's a solid bassist, and he was another kind of reason why I ever picked up a bass, because he really knew how to carry a song but not overdo it and just really fit everything in the mix.
Yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, I mean, LA is great, but Vegas has got really some of the hottest bands coming out of the West Coast. So
Yeah,
we got to get you in this mix somehow.
And Chad might, I'm sure Chad
Let's
probably knows
move.
where Ronnie's from.
Yeah.
Yeah, Radke, and you know, obviously all the original Escape the Fate and everything. They're from Vegas.
Yep.
So, yeah, Vegas would be cool. I mean, we're obviously open to playing wherever people will have us, So
Right.
the trick is like, expanding, especially like across the country, is, sort of given the level that we're at currently, like, I don't know how many promoters would get back with me, So it's a little bit of a game, like, that's why we're kind of focused on like neighboring state expansion and just
Right.
kind, sort of going that route, because it logically it makes sense,
Yeah.
if you can get on shows out of your state and those shows can pull well, then I think people in other states who might be further away will be like, what, maybe we'll give these guys a chance.
Right. I think hopping on a tour with a bunch of other bands is a great start.
Mm. Yeah,
So
it's just it's always hard. Like we're completely independent. We're not on a
right.
label. We're not on a management thing. Although we're working on with one who we know personally. So hopefully that will pan out and will help us sort of break into that next kind of
Base.
that sort of next level we're wanting to get at.
Right.
But yeah, it's just like, kind of doing everything on your own. I don't know how many emails I've written that have never been responded to, or messages on Facebook to venues and stuff, and that have just been have never been opened. Like you get a lot of just rejection in that sense, which sucks. But I mean, it's a part of the game, and
Yeah, and
you
I
just gotta
think
live with that.
like you just got to keep at it in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you're going to get lucky. You're either going to meet somebody or one of those emails is going to get open and it's going to change this band forever.
I mean, I know, just kind of like, because I run all of our communication and everything, so I've been noticing a lot of emails coming in more so for different opportunities, podcasts and things like that. We've had like different I guess like AR kind of places basically reach out and stuff, and so we are getting more of that, which is cool. And so it's kind of like it's validation that like what we're doing is right. And like as far as just like the internet is concerned, all of our socials, they continue to grow, and I feel like with each new song we put out, like somebody else discovers us for the first time, and then they listen to other stuff and whatnot. So we're kind of in like the, we're still new in a sense to a lot of people. And what I think is nice is that if somebody discovers us, like let's say last week, and they go and they look at us, we've got a lot of stuff that they can just listen to, so it's not like there's like one or two songs out or something. So we got a good back catalog, and we just kind of keep pushing forward and just trying to figure out new ways to do stuff better.
Yeah, and getting people to share is really the key as well.
Mm.
Yeah. Like and share. I mean,
Free.
you have to. I mean, believe me, like and share is like my middle name.
Yeah, it's always astonished me how like some people just don't think that helps. Everything's algorithm based, and
Right.
to feed the algorithm, you have to have interaction. So it's one thing if somebody sees a post, but they, if they interact with it, then it means like so much more.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I think through the pandemic, a lot of these bands did not understand social media and how it works. But guess what? That was the only thing they had.
Yeah.
They had Zoom and they had Facebook and Instagram.
We were 100% one of those bands.
Right. But I'm just saying though, I mean, now we're into 23 and these bands are finally starting to embrace social media as a tool to help them. I mean, you guys are already doing it.
Yeah, that's always been like one of our big focuses.
Yeah, like, and obviously, like the world we live in, like that's all you have. Like, gone are the days of staying on a corner, passing out your CD and your T-shirt so people can listen to it. Like, social media is literally all you have, and if you don't capitalize on that, no one's going to hear you, and you're never going to go anywhere.
Exactly. I mean,
like the thing for us that we always kind of struggled with was like we didn't put out a lot of stuff because we didn't feel like we had a lot of stuff. And then just like over time we realized like there are all kinds of things that you can do. That it's just about posting consistently. You know,
Exactly. You have
see
to
the growth.
continually engage
Yeah.
With your audience. And a lot of us, it's hard. You know, we have full-time jobs, you know, besides the rock and roll lifestyle.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
funny because a lot of people ask me, is this what you do full time? Yeah, but I also have a full-time job, you know?
Yep.
So, and my full-time job keeps the rock and roll dream alive, folks. So I
Amen.
can't, you know,
Amen.
I can't say enough about that.
Nice to not have to work.
Right? That would be
course.
I
nice.
know Chad will message the
I'm
Discord, be
tired
like,
of it.
hey, I'm tired of working. Like, you got. Like, he'll specifically be like, Cole, go fix it. I'm tired of working.
Oh my
I'm like, I'm
gosh.
trying, man.
Well, I mean, that's like when you guys see me online, I'm liking, blah, 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 blowing you guys up, emojis, blah, 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 trying
Oh,
to
yeah.
share it, trying to, you know, and I mean, that's the whole part of social media is getting a network of us.
Yeah.
To promote you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all about who you know anymore. You know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the great thing is like it's not like it's a handful of people. You know, it's not a a tight circle or anything. Like, yeah, you can find influencers across any social media platform and even with them, like they come in all sizes as far as like their audience size is concerned, and anything is better than nothing. So whether somebody has 500 followers and they want to start kind of working with you or posting about you, or they've got 5 million followers, like it all
Oh,
counts
right.
because those 500 people might have never heard of who we are, but now maybe a handful of them will, and
Exactly.
it's just just kind of goes from that route. So yeah, it's just about making contacts. We always like that's what we do at like shows, like when before and after our sets, like we're always at the merch table talking to whomever. We stay afterwards and talk to the venue owners,
And that's what you need to do. Cause I mean, it's funny because some of these bands, back in 21, they think it was going to come to them. Like the little people were just going to come. Hi. No, that's
No,
not how it works, folks.
nope.
not
You
even a
have
little
to be
bit.
engaging with your fans as well as social media.
Yep. Yeah,
Just the
that's
way it
like
works.
tonight we were even talking about, we were kind of like sort of polishing up the song we're recording this week, and Aaron and I had, talked about like a really just funny video idea we're going to shoot this week for TikTok and stuff, And it's just like just like having that talk amongst ourselves, like when we're at this, let's do this because we can post this.
Yeah, let me tell you, TikTok is really the hottest platform right now.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, if
fantastic.
you guys are recording or anything, take a 2-second shot. Hey, I'm recording right now, or blah, blah, blah. I mean,
one thing,
that's what people want to see. They want to see that quick cold. They want to see that quick interaction.
Mhm.
the one thing I wish we would have had, I don't know if TikTok had really blown up at this point, but the very first song we ever recorded with Chad was Sleepless.
Oh no, I know what he's
Everybody
gonna
knows
say.
exactly what the story is. So, he was doing vocals, and he got to the parts, they did all the singing stuff first like normal, and got to the parts where he was screaming. And I don't remember how Ingram, our producer, like saw this, but like where he sits at his control desk, you can look sort of like diagonal to the right, and you can see through a window a little bit into the window of the vocal booth that's there. And he like looks over and then like looks over again. He goes, "Is he standing on the stool?" And we go look, and Chad was standing on top of the bar stool, hunched down, screaming into the microphone.
Oh my God.
And Ingram was like, "What the hell are you doing?" He's like, "I've never seen anybody do that in all my years of recording."
Well, let me tell you something. That's what people want to see.
Yeah.
Oh man, if only they could have.
Right.
So good.
You know what I mean? But I mean, that's what's the great thing about TikTok. It's for creators, it's for you guys, it's to get your name out there, and people are watching.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which
It'd be
is
nice if
great.
their algorithm was easier to figure out.
Yeah.
Their algorithm
Yeah.
is horrible in that sense.
I know.
It's
But
it's like,
okay, well, hey, let's wrap this up. The one question that I always ask at the end of my interview is the one question: if there was a person or group, dead or alive, okay, dream collaboration, who would you have as your dream collaborator?
like for us to work with.
Yeah, I'm just individually.
Ooh,
I mean, I know mine. I think everybody.
We're all
knows
gonna
mine.
say the same thing.
we might.
Aaron and I might. Mine would be Avenged Sevenfold because
Yeah.
again, like I said, without discovering them, like my life would have been totally different because I would have probably never picked up guitar, which never would have caused me to go to school and then
Right.
do all this stuff. So I would love to work with them, just to even just sit down and like even just work with like Sinister Gates, you know, on something. If it was just him, you know, that would be mine.
What about you,
Yeah.
Matt?
It's a tough question. If I had to pick one that's kind of fit where I'm at today and where I've gotten, it would be Ryan Martini from Mudvayne. He's inspired me
Nice.
probably the most over the last few years. So I would
That's
definitely
cool.
love
I
to just
love
sit with him and
Mudvayne.
just record. Yeah, I would love to
Great
just sit
band.
and just like pick his brain or record something with him or do whatever.
Yeah, they're a great band as well. What about you, Aaron?
I am gonna go ahead and echo Cole on the Avenged Sevenfold one. Even if it wasn't like a collaboration, like writing something, it just a couple hours, sit down, talk, like just kind of pick their brain, figure out how they've made it work, how they could help us make it work, or any advice they could give. Any of them would be great.
That's awesome. Now, Chad, are you going to say the same thing?
I think for the band for sure. I feel like maybe like maybe doing a couple shows or like touring with Avenged Sevenfold would be sweet. I think it would pay off and make sense. Um, now, as far as me personally, oh man, I don't even know. I'd love to do like guest vocals, like maybe some scream stuff or like it would even be cool. Like there was a one time where like Steel Panther was like doing like cover songs with like other vocalists from other bands. I think it would be really cool to like sing a Van Halen song with them. Maybe
Oh,
that'd
yeah,
be
that's
sweet.
cool. I love Steel Panther. They're awesome.
Yeah, they're great.
They're super cool. Well, Cole, why don't you tell the followers that I have here tonight where they can find your music on all platforms?
Yeah, so we're pretty much everywhere. We go through DistroKid, so they put us on everything. Obviously, the big ones, you know, being Spotify and being like Apple Music and stuff. We're also on YouTube. You know, we've got our own personal YouTube channel, but you can find all of our stuff also on another YouTube channel called Space on Travel. So we're there. But yeah, I mean, we're on iTunes. The only thing I don't think we're on is Pandora. I think we're
Okay.
literally on everything else.
And what
Mhm.
about your website?
So the website's faithandfailure.com. It's got links to all of our socials on there. You know, we're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. You know, you can get our email addresses off there as well. Our merch store, we have an online merch store. It's a full service one as well, which you can get to from the homepage of the website. And that's cool because we offer like you know, obviously we sell merch at shows, but we offer like online exclusives and stuff. So we work with a great merch guy here in Columbus who has been really great to us. So everything is always made to order. So you know, we got that. But yeah, I mean, pretty much anywhere you can put our music in your Instagram post, you can put our music in your TikTok video, you
Mhm.
know, all that stuff. So I mean, pretty much anywhere you find music, you will find us. And
That's awesome.
it's either going to be Faith and Failure or Official Faith and Failure.
Okay. That's really great. Well, thank you guys so much for being on. I'm looking forward to hearing new music. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys live on the road.
Thank you.
Yes.
That would be fun.
In Vegas.
Vegas
In
or
Vegas.
wherever, right?
In Vegas.
Vegas.
That's for sure. And we'll
Mhm.
touch base over the next few months and keep in touch and let me know what you guys are doing.
Yeah, we'll do.
Absolutely.
Also, we're gonna plug our most recent single, "The End,"
Yes.
which came out February 3rd. So it's a little over a week
That's
now.
an amazing song.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
That
you.
song was written by complete accident.
Yeah.
Full transparency.
That's
So
That's awesome.
yeah, that was like kind of one of those magical things. Like one part happened when it was supposed to be something else, and you get the whole song. But yeah, we're pushing that one a lot, especially after all the kind of heavier stuff we've been releasing. So
Right.
but yeah, that's pretty fun. We just went over, I think 2 days ago, we went over the 1,000 stream mark on Spotify.
Oh, that's great. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So
you
it's-
guys have a lot of followers on Spotify.
Yeah, our average is always kind of going up. Our high point like doubled, almost tripled, I think, last year. At one point,
Mhm.
Pestilence really took off. I got on a relatively good sized playlist, and it just shot through the roof.
That's great.
So that was really
Well,
cool.
hopefully my viewers here will see this show and they're going to check your music out.
Yeah,
Please do.
yeah. If they do, thank you. And
Yeah.
we always like hearing what everybody thinks. So like, if you find us on your social media platform of choice, let us know what you think. You know, it's always fun to talk to people. So always
And it was
very
great
appreciative.
talking to you guys. You're awesome.
Thank you, too.
This has been a
Yeah,
long
thank you.
time coming for me since 21. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Of course.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
And we'll touch base again.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
We love doing podcasts, so we'll
We
come
do.
on whenever. So
Well, thanks a lot and take care and we'll see you soon.
yeah, thank you. Have a good
For
night.
sure. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Aaron. Thank you, Chad.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Matt.
Right.
Thank you, Cole. I'm just
Yes.
trying to get everybody in.
Right.
Awesome. All right.
So we good to click off?
Yeah,
then?
you guys are good to go.
Oh,
Okay.
Chad.
And we'll
Chad's
see you
gone.
soon.
Yeah.
All right.
Real quick before we go to just whenever wherever this is posted, just send me a link in Instagram
Yeah.
or email me, and then we'll
Sure,
post
no
about
problem.
this week. So okay.
Yeah, I'm
Awesome.
going to download it later.
Okay. Yeah, just send me
Cool.
whenever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, awesome. Well, then thank you very much.
Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
Thank you again.
Thank you again.
Wow. Faith in Failure, a great band out of Ohio. They're going to be amazing on the road. This band has got some great music out there on Spotify, so definitely check it out. And we'll see where they're going to go in the next few months. I'd love to get them right here in Vegas. We'll see what happens with that. Next show is going to be March 5th, and it's going to be Corey Brown's birthday show. So I so look forward to seeing him. He's a great musician. He has a lot to talk about. So it'll be great to have him on as well. And then on the 26th of March, it's going to be The Degreed from the UK. So definitely stay tuned for that. Next week, there will not be a show. I will be traveling to Chicago for the Kings of Thrash opening show. So I'll be talking more about that on my socials. So everybody have a great evening. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.